Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United!
Glory, glory, Man United, as the Reds go marching on, on, on!
Welcome to Old Trafford,
It's the better of our dreams, the power and the glory of the shepherd and will sing. The lusty boys will take the pitch to marching at their feet, as the Reds go marching on, on, on! Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! As the Reds go marching on!
This shirt belongs to you. Always has, always will.
Jest 4:20 rano, a ja jestem zdecydowanie. Kochani, wylądowaliśmy w Manchesterze, pogoda jest tragiczna. Cheers! Welcome in Manchester! Zobaczcie, jak napierdala deszcz. Jest godzina 7:30 rano. My wyleciliśmy jakoś chwilę też przed 7, ale po prostu zyskaliśmy godzinę podczas lądowania, tak? Teraz na Customs. No i kochani, znowu jestem postawiony na Manchesteru United. 2 miesiące po ostatnim meczu. Wczoraj byłem tutaj na niebieskiej niestety strefie Manchesteru. Manchester City padł w Lidze Mistrzów przeciwko Dinamo Zagreb. A ja sobie tutaj przyjechałem na Manchester United Tour. Muzeum kosztuje i Stadion Tour 22,95 funta. Dostajemy taką karteczkę i taką oto smyczkę też. Tak wygląda kasa. O, a tam macie również ceny. My byliśmy jako grupa, więc wyszło nas dużo taniej. I muzeum się zaczyna na 2. piętrze. No i wchodzimy kochani do Muzeum Manchester United. Muzeum Tour. No i kochani, to jest właśnie tutaj wejście. Jestem w niebie. Kurwa. Giggs, Rooney, Solskjaer, Park, David Beckham, Rooney, Van Nistelrooy, Walker, Wright. Masakra. To jakieś rudy kurwiarz. Zobaczcie, co tu się w ogóle działo. I wchodzimy na salę trofeum. Tu jeżeli chciałbym obszerzyć w każde jedno trofeum United, to musimy tu siedzieć chyba z parę godzin. Zobaczcie sobie tylko w tle. No nie udało się, poszliśmy do chujowego muzeum futbolu. A tutaj kochniemy polski akcent 68 roku, czyli Manchester United against Górnik Zabrze. Zobaczcie tutaj sobie te daty i to wszystko. Koszulki Roy Keane, czyli maszyna Manchester United, Alex Ferguson. Znowuż Alexa mamy. No i koszulka z największego triumfu, chyba jednego z najlepszego meczu w historii w Lidze Mistrzów z 1999 roku na Camp Nou, kiedy to Manchester United pokonał Bayern Monachium 2-1 i 2 gole w doliczonym czasie gry. Czyli Teddy Sheringham i drugi gol po dośrodkowaniu Davida Beckhama, nasz obecny trener Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No i kochani, jestem teraz na 2. piętrze. Zobaczcie sobie, Patrice Evra jedzie sobie na kamelu. Jak to wygląda, i sponsorzy, wszystko. I'm in heaven, muszę powiedzieć. I'm in fucking heaven. I tu kochani macie koszulkę z ostatniego meczu Roy Keane'a w barwach United. A co, kochanie, mogę powiedzieć, że o życie bez to. Świetny piłkarz, genialny, inteligentny, a niestety na forum prywatnym kurwiarz, alkoholik, ćpun. Zobacz teraz ściana legend naszych trenerów. Już nie będę miał każdego nazwiska po kolei, po prostu dużo czasu by to zajęło, ale to jest legenda. Nikt go nie pobije. Najlepszy trener historii futbolu. Niestety Rejenowi Giggsowi nie dało się szansy. Został tylko miesiąc. To dla mnie jest największa porażka. I to. How come? Let's say. Zobaczcie, tutaj są te, nie wiem, trykoty. O, trykoty się nazywa. Zobaczcie, tak się to nazywa. Jest Eric Cantona, nasz Diabły, Andre Herrera, Pat Creed, Gary Neville and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. No i kochani, wręczenie Pucharu Ligi Mistrzów z najlepszego w historii finału Ligi Mistrzów. Zobaczcie sobie tutaj trofea, wszystko. Jest koszulka Dwighta Yorka 9-8, podpisana 5 maja. I Rivaldo, skurwysyn strzela gola. I nie ma gola. Siedzi. I Louis van Gaal, nasz późniejszy trener, przygrywa to spotkanie. Jakie to jest piękne. No nasza kurwa legenda, tak? Poległ na Sorgie, strzela gola w 93 minucie spotkania z Bayernem Monachium. Wiecie, jakbym chciał to wszystko wam pokazać, ten film musiałby trwać chyba z 2 godziny, a wiem, że nie każdemu coś takie filmy oglądać, więc trzeba to zrobić takim trochę skrótem.
Whether Manchester United are winning, losing or drawing, they're always singing. So, very passionate end. The noise emanates around the stadium.
Tam siedziałem akurat.
And hopefully stops in the corner between the green fencing, and that is where we house the away fans. So on Monday night, just gone, we had Arsenal here, and there was 3,100 Arsenal fans sat in that area. And we were hoping they would be crying at the end of the game. Okay, so that's the stadium in a nutshell. We're going to start to make our way around to that corner. So if you'd all like to rise. Majority demand that we stay together as a group. So basically around the stadium from now on, I'll always be at the front, Phil will be at the back. If you need to stop the tour for any reason, please come and ask us first. We really don't mind. But what we can't have is people wandering off through doorways or wandering off wherever they like, simply because you will get lost. All these concourses here look exactly the same. You disappear and come out of the doorway again. We may have moved on, won't know where we are. In which case, security just come and take you out the nearest exit. So please stick together. Does anyone know what the players eat as a pre-match meal? Have a guess. Pasta? Yeah. Fish?
Chicken.
Bananas, fruit, vegetables, pasta, fish, chicken. So, and we give the fans hot dogs, chocolate, crisps, burgers, and fries. Yeah. So, in these concourses, the fans don't eat exactly like the players do on a match day. The fans get all the good stuff in life. So they'll also get programs, they can also bet. This is very, very popular now, match day betting. You'll see those signs all around the stadium. And they might just not bet on stuff, they might bet on anything.
No i tutaj sobie piłkarze przed meczem robią beta. To jest akurat mecz na Arsenal
Alex Ferguson. It's a very unusual portrait of him just around the corner. It's very hard to detect with your eyes what the portrait is made of until you get up to it very closely. This way.
Cocaine.
So those of you at the front might detect what it's made of now. Those of you at the back might not be too sure still. It's actually made of red cotton or red thread to represent the red shirt of Manchester and to symbolise that Sir Alex is now considered the very fabric of this club. This stand is named after him because of this. In his 26.5 years, he won 38 major trophies. It's a record. Well, it's a British record, probably not going to be beaten, to be honest, because the average length of a manager at any Premier League club now is around 22 months, let alone 26.5. 38 trophies in our entire history. We've won 68 trophies, so Alex won over half of them. And here he is with many of those different types of trophies. There are no Liverpool fans here, but we do like to point out the Premier League in there.
That's how it looks like.
This way. Okay, folks, if at any time you want to come and ask a question of me or Phil, we will do our best to answer it. If we cannot answer it, we'll find someone who has access to Google and we'll give you the answer then. If not, we'll tell a convincing lie. Yeah. But one of the most asked questions I usually get in the concourses is these signs that are all over the stadium. No alcohol to be taken into the seats. That is an English and Welsh law. In English and Welsh football, you cannot take your alcohol from the concourse into the seats. You can in cricket, you can in rugby, just not in English football. Okay? And the reason was in 1985, the law was passed to dampen down or curb the amount of hooliganism and trouble within British stadiums. Thankfully today, we rarely have any trouble at all. It's a very safe place to come. Okay, we're about to walk down this long corridor and reach one of the best photograph opportunities of the tour on the ability platform. Once we're on the platform, if you move around it, the better your photographs will be. So don't stand, as soon as you get on the platform, don't stand there taking photographs because it's not the best spot. Move around the platform.
Yes, please. No jesteśmy w końcu na murawie marzeń. Manchester United najlepszy klub na świecie. Kto tak nie ćwierci, niech spierdala. A wino.
Zostaw.
When I was on the game, I was sit over there. Kurwa. Ja pierdolę.
Now, as a point of context for the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, you were sat in the letter S of Manchester. You were actually quite low down. The top seats at the very top are almost 50 metres high. It's the equivalent to a 10-storey building. There are no lifts or escalators up to the top, so you have to walk 192 steps. It's quite a workout. What do you see on the roof of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand? It's not too windy today. What can you see? Those flags represent the nationalities of the current playing squad here at Manchester United, if they have played for their country. So the newest flag was actually placed in the corner over the summer, the Welsh flag after Daniel James, one of our new signings.
Croatian guys will be back.
The Belgian flag because we sold Romelu Lukaku. So sometimes the flags change over the summer. Now the pitch behind you is a technological masterpiece. It's one of the best pitches in the world. It is certainly the best pitch in Great Britain. It is not turf. First of all, you will see it's raised up. It's raised on trays of sand. Underneath the trays of sand are 18 miles or 25 kilometres of piping. That piping collects the water as it or the rainwater as it passes through the pitch, and we store it in 50,000 gallon tanks underneath this stand here. We treat it, recycle it either as a sprinkler system, or in the winter we heat the water back through the pipes and melt off any snow or ice. In the trays of sand are millions of nylon fibres embedded in the sand. The natural grass, the top layer, tangles its roots around those fibres, much like the weave of a carpet, makes it very strong, very durable. It's actually designed by a carpet-making system from Belgium called the Desso system. That pitch is rarely damaged. It doesn't flood, it doesn't get worn away, it doesn't get muddy. If you do a sliding tackle, it was very, very wet on Monday night for the game against Arsenal. There was a lot of sliding tackles. The grass does not unroot because it is not fixed to soil or dirt. It is not turf. It just pushes over, it just bends over. So the pitch looked like this the next morning after the night before game. So very little damage. What we do have to ensure in the winter, however, grass goes dormant, it stops growing. So we start to bring these machines on into the shaded areas, or in the full of winter we will have them all over the pitch, and they trick the grass into believing that it's still summer. The grass still grows. Any questions about the pitch?
I have a question. What's gonna happen tomorrow in the Alkmaar?
In
Alkmaar.
we are going to win,
I hope so, man.
but I can't tell you the score
Yeah.
in case you bet.
Yeah.
But I know what the score will be tomorrow. I will say we will win. Now these platforms here, these are our wheelchair platforms. As you can see, it's quite extensive around the ground now, and a lot of work going on to increase those areas. You were at the game? Yeah. How did it go? I didn't see massive turnout. But for a long time you kept sitting. Yeah, 66. An hour. They can be beaten, but you have to put pressure on their defence. Their defence is... So, does anybody recognise this area? You could be mistaken, we have a number of press conference rooms. The main one is at Carrington, our training complex, about 10 kilometres from here. And that has a much larger area in terms of seating, but the exact same backdrop as this. And that is used before the game. So if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing a press conference before the game, he will use that one at Carrington. But if Manchester United and the other team, Arsenal for instance, on Monday need to do a press conference after the game, this is the one they use. So on Monday night, the game finished around about 10 o'clock, or just short of 10 o'clock, and then about 30 minutes later, Unai Emery, the Arsenal manager, will have come through this door, sat in the middle seat. We always invite the away manager in first, a courtesy, as they have the furthest to go home. So the Arsenal manager, Emery, would have sat here, and he would have been interviewed by you guys. You are the newspaper reporters, or what we call the British press, for around 5 to 10 minutes. It's not long. He will be on his way, and then in comes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he does the same. At the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has quite a good relationship with the newspaper reporters, but that is unusual. He is starting to get a little irritated, but not in terms of Sir Alex Ferguson and other managers who hated coming in this room. Sir Alex Ferguson hated it so much he would often refuse to come in.
He can do that, huh?
Yeah, he would refuse to come in. He would send the assistant manager in instead. He grew very, very tired of saying something in this chair, and then in the next morning's newspapers, they'd changed his words, or they'd made something up that he had said when he hadn't said it. And it was Sir Alex who had that camera up on the partition, placed on the red partition, so all the press conferences were filmed, so he could prove that the newspapers were telling lies if they said something differently in the morning newspaper. Now, I already heard someone just mention Jose Mourinho. It wasn't just Jose, David Moyes, Louis van Gaal did not like this room, but especially Jose Mourinho. He once did a very famous press conference about a year ago, it was last October. He did a 10-second press conference, not 10 minutes. I don't know if you remember it. He answered one question and said, respect, respect, respect. 3 fingers for 3 premierships. And he walked out after 10 seconds. Now, believe it or not, that was not Jose's shortest ever press conference. Jose once did a 3-second press conference, where he literally walked through the door, did this with his hands. So he really did not like coming in this room either. So it's a shame, because we do treat the newspapers very well. Through that door at the back near Phil, the grey door, is the press suite. We give them free food, free drink, all game. We give them stations where they can upload their reports to their respective news agencies, but it's still never a great relationship with Manchester United managers. Okay, there were happier times in this room. Between 1992 2002, we signed players in this seat, next to Sir Alex, who would have been sat here. So first player in this seat was a guy called Dion Dublin. You may not remember him, but he broke his leg after 4 games, and we had to sign an immediate replacement, and that man was Eric Cantona. So if you know your Manchester history, he was one of our greatest ever players. Following Eric was Roy Keane, Jaap Stam, Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself, Ruud van Nistelrooy, another great player signed in this room. The last signing was a Uruguayan striker called Diego Forlan. After Diego signed, we stopped doing signings in this room because it was becoming too small. Such is the media interest now in a Manchester United new player. We need a much bigger room. When Paul Pogba signed 2 years ago, we needed space for 300 reporters, and there are only 63 seats in this room. So we do everything now at Carrington, where there is also a medical centre, and that room there does have provision for around 200 to 300 newspaper reporters or media people. So everything is done now at Carrington. Jose lost his temper when he went through that door. He went into the VIP room. We are going to pass through the VIP room, and we're going to sit in the best seats for fans in the stadium, the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. So this way. See some names on these seats as you pass along. Sir Bobby. If you're tall, you might see Sir Alex Ferguson, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
What is Alex?
If you stand on your tiptoes, you might just see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ah, I see, yeah.
And we can use any of these 2 rows as long as you come all the way down to the end. So you just literally got on the fly. You're doing the right thing. Fight off the jet lag.
I'm going to get you forward.
Do you know what cures jet lag?
Not going to sleep.
And ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah, there's a chemical in ice cream that helps you get over the effects of... It's true. That's why on Virgin flights they give you ice cream. It's called melanin or something, the chemical that's prevalent in ice cream. It helps you get over the effects of jet lag.
I might try something.
It's an excuse. I've done the flight back from Melbourne.
It's pretty ugly.
Yeah, I think I did it via Singapore, and then 2-3 hours at Singapore, and then straight to Manchester. Yeah, it's a long one.
Everybody here? I don't think so.
Can you name those 4 players? So just before the season started, we had to change 2, or Melita Coffee Company had to. Their original poster had Romelu Lukaku in it and Ander Herrera, and then we went and sold both of them, and they had to literally the night before the Chelsea game change their poster to new players. Who is... Are we still... Oh, you're there, Phil. Great. Okay, guys, we're about to go to the dressing room. These are the real dressing rooms. Therefore, there is security access. I will open some of those doors, but it is important that you hold the door open for the person behind you. They may lock on themselves as well. So, this way, please. Keep together.
Yeah, I got it.
To your right, sir.
No i wchodźmy do szatni Manchesteru, kurwa. Romero, De Gea, Young, Maguire, Lindelof. Tam kurwa nie mam się już. Pogba, McTominay, Andreas, Lingard, James, Rashford, Mata, Greenwood, Fred, Matic, Marcus Rojo, Shaw, Van Bissaka, Marital, Jones, to jest tam teraz gwiazda, Dalot and Bailey.
they'll wash some of them, but a lot of them have a new jersey because the jersey is made specifically for their body shape. The format of the shirts is similar to a match day, only there would not be this many shirts on a match day. There would only be 18. We just add the extra squad members for the tour for your photograph. Generally, it will be goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders, attackers, substitutes. They'll come here about 90 minutes before kick-off, warm up on the pitch, come in for their last-minute instructions, maybe using the tactic boards behind the screen. And then about 7.5 minutes before kick-off, a bell will sound. That's the referee, and that's David De Gea's cue as the club captain to lead his team out of the dressing room and into the players' tunnel, which we will do in a few minutes. After the game, it becomes a mini treatment room. There will be treatment benches for minor injuries, and every player who's played the full 90 minutes will have to stand in an ice bath for up to 2 minutes to allow their bodies to cool down and also any swelling or lactic acid to leave the body. Okay, if you've got any more questions, come and see me and Phil, but in the meantime, take as many photos as you can. We will be here for a couple of minutes. Come through, Dan. Do you recognise these boards?
Yeah.
Where they do the interviews? A lot of people think it's in the studio after the game, but they're not. They're actually stood in front of these backboards. And those lights act on the red wall, they act as the studio lights. So it's a trick. They make you think that they've taken the players into a studio, and they're actually just literally come off playing. And that's our next stop on the tour. So the original stadium was built here 109 years ago, and we are going to see a part of that original build. But we changed tunnels in 1993, first as a response to some problems in the game, some disasters, the Hillsborough disaster and the Bradford fire. Many fans lost their lives, and one of the reasons was they could not get emergency services into the stadium on those particular disastrous days. So all Premier League clubs now have to have a tunnel big enough for fire engines and ambulances. So we built this tunnel. Big doors at the back will open all the way up to the ceiling. This partition above your heads with the yellow perimeter is on a hydraulic jack. It will lift around 8 meters, should we need to do so. And the canopy just above Phil there, the red canopy that protects the players on a match day, that can be rolled and moved away. So it's never happened to us, but if it does, we can get emergency services into the stadium. Okay, but the main thing for this tunnel now is, it is where the players line up. So you're the Manchester United captain, so I'd like you to stand here. So you're David De Gea. Now I need a line underneath behind this guy. Now, where's the Dinamo Zagreb captain?
It's Mario.
You are here. And I need a line behind Dinamo Zagreb. So the reason Manchester United are always this side is superstition and tradition. They like to be next to the Stretford end. So when they walk down the tunnel, they'll turn around and they'll wave to all the singing, cheering supporters. Yeah. So they always line up on this side. Now I am going to play a recording of how it sounds for the two teams on match day any moment now. But first, a few rules. We are not allowed on the grass. Believe it or not, it is a criminal offence to even touch the grass. So don't be that person who receives a £5,000 fine. Really is not worth it. It's just grass. Yeah? Okay, first of all, I shake the hands of the two captains. I'm the referee. Have a great game, Manchester United. Please lose The referee doesn't really say that. Now, two captains shake hands. Well done. Now, any minute now, Phil is going to press a button, and that will sound. When I do this, two captains come down. Wait.
Zagreb!
This way, please.
But the players go on the field.
How come they're there?
Take a seat if you wish. Dinamo Zagreb would be in that end, or the substitutes would be. On the back row, and then the same for David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Ryan Giggs, and now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would sit on that second seat in on the back row. Jose Mourinho used to sit on the first row, the first seat. He was slightly different.
Goes Maria.
But of course, Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spend most of their time stood in the technical area here, in reality. Between the two dugouts, you'll see the original tunnel. Now that is 109 years old since the very first day we used this stadium. This stadium was actually bombed during the Second World War. The stadium was destroyed. When they cleared away all the rubble at the end of the Second World War, they found one thing left standing from the original structure, and it was the two walls of that tunnel, made of very thick concrete. So we've kept the tunnel ever since as a symbol of resilience, even though we've rebuilt the stadium many, many times. So it's a very historic tunnel. Some of the greatest players in history have come out of that tunnel prior to 1992 and onto this field of play. Players like Maradona have come out of this tunnel. The last player ever to run out of that tunnel. That's the goalkeeper. Do you like his kit?
Ah!
How old is he?
One.
Harry's movie.